Do you know that we jump from one parallel reality to another without even realizing it? Today I'm going to explain to you how is that happening and how you can actually use it in your own advantage. Imagine that this is life. Life is like a radio station, okay? And this is AM and FM, okay? Different frequencies. It's like a different frequency. It's the same with a TV channel. Now there's a 102.5, 105 and 107.5. Okay. When you are operating in a certain frequency, you're seeing only that. So when you turn the radio on 102.5, this is what you're gonna hear, okay? But that doesn't mean that everything else doesn't exist, okay? But let me reword a little bit. Now, quantum physics is telling us that everything already exists and everything has infinite possibilities. So when you turn on 102.5, that doesn't mean that 105 doesn't exist and 107.5 doesn't exist. It means that you're able only to listen, right, this is the radio, to listen only to this frequency here. So how does it work? Everything around us is energy. And everything that we attract, it comes from the level of the frequency that we are. So this is low frequency, this is high frequency. If you are operating on the lower side, this is how the frequency goes. If you're operating on the lower side here, that means that you're going to attract only negative things, okay? And the infinite. So important thing here to add is that this is why it's so important to always imagine the end goal for your manifestation, not to imagine how did you get that. Because when you trust the process and when you know that there's infinite possibilities of you attracting your desire, okay, infinite, this is the universe, infinite possibilities, that means that if you assume that it will happen a certain way, you are blocking for you to get maybe this is going to be this opportunity is going to be the perfect one for you, but you thought that this one here is going to be better. So that's why it's so important for you to trust the process when you're trying to manifest your desire, and to not assume how you're going to get there, to just act as if and live at the end. Now when we are on the low frequency, we attract only negative. When we are on the low frequency, we attract only negative things, okay? That means negative people, that means not the best situations that you can be in. And that means you're not going to be able to see the opportunities that they're maybe right in front of you. Now, and each one of this frequency that we hear, we go up and down. This is the abundance. The higher ones is love, abundance. The best thing, that the higher self is the high vibration. So when you're up here, you actually experience abundance, like I said, love. You see opportunities, and you feel like the opportunities are coming and keep coming and coming your way, okay? Now, but how do we switch the realities, right? So based on what I just told you, this is how we shift from one reality to another. And like I said, everything already exists. So the reality of you having a lot of money and attracting abundance and love and opportunities exists already. And the reality of you attracting negative people, bad situations, and not seeing opportunities, it also exists. And they exist all at the same time. You're just not able to see it. It depends on what frequency you are. So when you're on a higher frequency, you are, like I said, attracting the best possible outcomes, the best people, the best opportunities, the best job that you can get. And that's how you're attracting the best of all of the infinite opportunities. And in the opposite, when you're in the low one. So this is how we switch realities. With this example here, I want to show you how it actually works. There's a version of you that makes $2,000 per month. There's a version of you that makes 100, and there's a version of you that makes $500,000 per month. Now, what is the difference between those versions of you? You may ask. It's your frequency, on what kind of frequency you operate. It's your beliefs. It's your beliefs. And it's your nervous system. Which reality you are tapped in, and there's, like I said, there's infinite. There's one that makes 10,000. There's one here that makes 10,000, that makes 5K, that makes 200K, that makes 1 million. Okay? Per month. And this is all based on in what frequency you're operating. Okay? If you're in the higher or in the lower one. Your beliefs, this is very important key here. It's your beliefs. So if you grew up with a lot of limitations, if your parents said money don't grow on the trees, you have to work really hard, and if your nervous system is not regulated, that means that even if you try to go from 2K, let's say you make 2K per month, and if you try to go to a 10K or to 5K, if your nervous system is not regulated, that means that when your nervous system when you throw something new at your nervous system, okay, it feels scary. It's same thing with your brain. So it's gonna make everything impossible. It's gonna start making excuses why you cannot do a certain thing. It's gonna start making so many obstacles for you, so you can achieve this. And at the end, you're gonna give up. And like I said, everything is possible. You're the one that decides if you're gonna make 2, 5, 10, 100, 200, or 5, or $1 million per month. It doesn't have to be per year. There's so much money on this earth, and there are so many people that they don't care, because they have so many that they don't care how much they're gonna make. Why not you from 2K jump from 10 or to 5 or to 10, right? Why not make 100,000? Those two here are the key for you to jump from one parallel reality to another. And it's so important. This is why it's so important. When you operate in a higher frequency, okay, the goal is here to be on high, to be with your higher self. Because this is what you're going to attract. You're going to attract more opportunities, like I said earlier, and those opportunities are going to lead you to making more money, okay? And this goes for everything. That goes for health, for success, for a relationship, for love, for house, for absolutely everything in life. You just have to jump from one reality to another. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper with explaining why it's so important to work on yourself, and how is that beneficial for you to switch from one reality to another. Now, what I want to explain here is how our brain works. 95% of our reality is controlled by our subconscious, and only 5% is controlled by our conscious. What does that mean? That means that all of the beliefs that we have since our childhood, all of the beliefs that we have from childhood, from trauma, are stored, and this is what controls our reality. So if it feels scary to you to make $10,000, even if you don't realize it, by the way, you are not realizing most of the things that are there, okay? This is because maybe your parents have told you when you're growing up that money don't go on the trees, you cannot make money easily. you have to work really hard, all those kinds of things. This is what controls you, and you're not even realizing it. That's why it's so important to get to the bottom of your beliefs. And that's why they're so important. You have to get to the bottom of your beliefs. Which of them are limited and how you can do that. Look at your life. Look in which area you're lacking. In the area that you're lacking, this is where you have limited beliefs. This is on what you have to work on. And now, the next thing is the nervous system. There's exercise that you can do to calm your nervous system. Maybe right before you sit down to journal, or maybe right before you sit down to meditate. Regulate your nervous system. So when you try to reprogram your subconscious, your nervous system is not fighting it, but actually accepts it. And everything works together. So how to go from 102.5 to 105 or 107.5 is by working on yourself. Like I said, everything starts and ends with you. There's an easy exercise that you can regulate your nervous system. There's a lot more out there. This is the one that I'm using, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Just to put my pen. Okay, it's very easy. You put in both of your arms like this, and you put it on your chest. I hope I don't hit my microphone. You close your eyes, deep breath. You just do this. Concentrate on your breathing. You have to do this 3 to 5 minutes. It doesn't take a lot of time and actually makes you feel better. So this is it. This is how you jump from one parallel reality to another. This is actually how you manifest, explained with quantum physics. You just have to change who you are, honestly, and then you'll be able to see a lot more opportunities, a lot more happiness, a lot more abundance. You'll be able to see the life that you wanted to see. That's going to be all for today, guys. I hope you understood how you can control your reality and how you can jump from one to another. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really like this video. If you like it, I would highly appreciate if you hit the like and the subscribe button. And again, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to see you in the next one.